What's on your mind? What is up, guys, and welcome to the What's on Your Mind podcast, where we talk about the things that nobody else wants to talk about. And I am your host, who you love the very much most, Cash. What is up, guys? It's been a minute. It's been a hot minute. I've been having a lot going on, but I'm back. And I'm better, and I'm doing this, and we're here. This is episode 9. Welcome to episode 9. Yay, we're here. Today's episode, we're going to talk about the future. So the other day I was thinking about how it was relatively odd. Well, I guess let's go back. So the other day, you know how people say it, the other day. I say that a lot when I literally, it could be a month, a year. You know what I mean. But the other day I was scrolling through a comment section. I'm one of the people who I could care less for the video, but the comments is really where it's at. So, and everybody was just commenting, oh, how do we have the same life, blah blah blah, we all grew up the same, etc etc, is it a matrix, etc etc. So that really got me thinking the other day, days ahead of that, maybe like a few weeks, about how every generation, I don't know if I should say generation, but like every era had the same idea of the future, right? Our grandparents, our great great grandparents, them before that, they thought flying cars was gonna be a thing, no more money, just electric digital money, that's it. You don't need physical cash anymore. Or how everything would be so advanced in the future, and technology would be so advanced and otherwise. So it's like, back then with our greats, they expected the future now to be this extravagant future, flying cars, back to the future type thing, and even then, probably people, that's just the 90s, the 80s and the 90s, probably even people then figured now we'll have flying cars and restaurants in the sky, drive-thrus in the sky, Futurama type of thing. And even we do now. And it's so crazy to me how everybody expected the same vision, and aliens, flying cars, all that. But in every era, you had half of the people who believed that that was going to be the future. And then you have the other half who are all like, no, everything's going to stay the same. It's never going to be like that. That's the devil's work. And such like that. And every era has that, but then every era also comes out, and whatever people assumed or heard or thought comes out to be true. People were saying, by now we're going to have money on cards, we're not going to use digital money. If you think about it, food stamps used to be on paper, there wasn't a card, then that went to a card, then money, now we have debit cards, credit cards. Yeah, we still use cash, but it's rare because now we have Apple Pay, we have I can't, for some reason the word just got out of my mind, Bitcoin. We have digital currency, yeah. All of these things that everybody suspected to be in their future in ours. And not only do we have that, even so far, I remember being young and thinking like, dang, I hope I get to see flying cars and all these things, because I expected that to be in my future too, just from the things I heard or the history I've looked into, the inventors, everything, Nikola, all of that. So it's like I had a vision of kind of the same thing as any other enthusiast of any generation, of a world that is very advanced in technology for some reason. I don't know, I'm just a little kid thinking like, oh wow, I hope I get to see flying cars, not really thinking too much into it, just by looking at stories I've heard and things I've read and documentaries that I watched, and the interest of how cool it would be to see those things. And now I just seen an ad out for people to pre-order the first flying car. Now, I do strongly believe, and no, I don't have any proof, that flying cars were already here, kind of like computers were already here before they were released to the public. That's kind of how I feel about almost everything. Just because of that one thing, who's to say that it doesn't? Who's to say that it does? I'm always in for either side. So I honestly do believe that they've always had it, but now it's just available to the public in this specific version, sorry. This specific version is available to the public. But the thing is, even those cars aren't even available to the public, because technically they're only available for pre-order. So a lot of people, when Tesla came out with their electric car, they came out on pre-order first, and a lot of people didn't think it was going to happen. Having a car that drives itself, that's insane. Who would want it? It's so dangerous, blah blah blah. And not only did it come out, but now they have motorcycles. They have what are they called? Not pickup trucks, semi trucks. Now they have semi trucks, cars, SUVs, many different models, and even I think they even have a scooter, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure I've seen a Tesla scooter. But all that being said, that is a lot of technology that is self-efficient. But even then, people were all like, oh, Tesla self-drives, Tesla self-drives. And yes, it is a pretty cool feature, but people also was erasing the fact that Honda self-drives. Honda has cars that self-drive. Honda had a self-driving car in, like, I want to say, like, 2018. I can't really think in my head when Tesla came out, and I'm not saying one came before the other or anything like that. I'm just saying there's always been a version, I keep saying that, a version of a car that has been self-driving, even if it's for an hour, 30 minutes, whatever. It's always been there. And the ability to sense and move your car when there's a car too close to you, or if you're too close to a car, all of these features have already been into cars, but somehow Tesla got more popular. Maybe it was a big iPad in the car, I'm not sure, but I have been in a Tesla before. I've seen some models at the mall and things. I like Teslas myself. I haven't really looked in deeply into it, just like the body of it and like the whole idea of a self-driving car. Is it scary? Yeah. I mean, do I want one? Not really at the moment, because I don't know. I don't know. I do have a model. I do like the Model T though. That's my favorite Tesla model, because the body just looks the best, honestly, than the other models. And but that's besides the point. But the point I'm trying to make here is that every generation had the same generation era, whatever you want to call it, had the same vision of the future. And so did I when I was young. And now I'm getting closer and closer every year to living in that future that I imagined living in when I was young. But the difference is, I imagine by the time that I was an adult, everything will already be like that. The only car option would be a flying car. The only this option will be digital currency. You know, if you ever seen that movie In Time, I believe it's called, where their lifeline was their currency, but they can also get robbed. So if somebody came and robbed all your money, they killed you. You were dead. But you can also give money to people, just like people can steal it. So you can, like, when you work, you clock in, you get more money, you also get more life. So that basically meant that you're spending your lifeline every time you spend your money, which is a trippy concept. So I'm not saying I'm hoping for that in the future, not really, because putting money and time together is a very dangerous game, especially if people can just punch you in the street and beat you down and rob you, and then you're dead because you don't have any money, or time for your life left. That's kind of BS, I'm calling it. And that's really the reason why I wouldn't think that's a good idea. And I can't remember if it was implemented or like a wristband. But either way, if you haven't seen that movie In Time, you should go watch it. I believe Justin Timberlake is in it. Yeah, it's a good movie. But just everybody thought this will be a hoverboard era. We'll be riding on our hoverboards like Marty and things and such like that. And the trains will be self-driving, hovering, everything hovering, just hover, hover, hover. And it's like, where did the idea come from in the first place to somebody? And then how did it spawn into the future that we have today, or how didn't it? You know, there's so many things about what the potential of the future could be that everybody expected or didn't expect. And honestly, is this what I figured that the future would look like? I don't know, but we do have a lot more technology than we did when I was growing up. So I've seen a lot of changes in my lifetime, as pretty much anybody else. I was born in the 90s, you know, but it's just crazy to think how everybody lived the same life, and every era, generation, what have you, have imagined the same type of future. I don't know. It's mind blowing to me. But I'm gonna leave y'all with that. What do you think that the future would be like? Did you ever envision anything about the future when you were young or now? Is there any inventions that you hope will take place in the future or today? Like for mine, for example, why well, mine is just really questions like, why are we using electricity from water or from the ground? Why do we have to pay for something that's natural and never runs out? So we think. So as far as I know, I mean, if you know more, by all means, please comment it. Let me know something. You know, I'm always down for learning new things. But yeah, those are my questions I'm going to end the podcast with. What did you think the future would be like? Or did you even have a vision of it? And is it what you expect? And what else, if yes or no, what else are you expecting to see in the future? Or what inventions are you excited to see or not excited to see? Like this AI stuff and this robotics and things like that. It's pretty scary. Which I'll talk about that in the next episode, because it's getting crazy out here. So stay tuned for my opinion on AI and robots and such like that. And thank you, as always, for watching the What's on Your Mind podcast, where we find out what's on your mind. Thank you. Peace, love, and happiness.